Oh, sorry about that. Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. As you can tell, I'm doing things a little bit differently today, and don't worry, I'm going to be going right back to my normal format. Think of this video as something where if I did my normal format, I wouldn't even be able to put it out. Basically, it takes me a good while to do my normal videos, and I'm working on some really awesome stuff, which you guys are going to find out before long. I can't really discuss it right now, but it's going to be sweet. Anyway, before I get to the news, make sure to check out the 100 subscriber giveaway, where you can win one of these bad boys right here, along with quite a few other things. Well, there's 5 chances to win. This is one of the prizes, and along with that, you actually do get a couple games. But anyway, check that out in the description below. Okay, let's get to the news. Today is pretty much going to be all about NVIDIA's super GPUs because pretty much everything leaked out. Let's just put it that way. Let's go ahead and get over to it. All right, video cards. Man, are they on point. And remember, guys, that video cards is, if there's anyone that I really trust due to past experience, video cards is one of them. They have some of, if not the best leaks. And if there's going to be an issue with a leak, they will let you know. If they say, hey, this is confirmed, it's confirmed. So starting things off, video cards leaked NVIDIA's Super Specs. And they're pretty much exactly what we've seen so far. The 2060 Super features a TU106 GPU with 2176 CUDA cores. And remember that the TU106, that's technically the GPU that was in the 2070. Well, now it's in the 2060, so they can have more cores. Now, it doesn't have as many cores as the 2070 does, but it has more than the 2060 and more than what the TU108 has. Anyway, 2176 cores, and then the wattage has increased by 15 watts. As they say here, the biggest change, and really I think this is the biggest change through all of the configuration here, they actually added 2 gigabytes to the card, which I think is something it really needed. And honestly, I wish they would have done the same across the board. If the 2070 had 10, 2080, let's see, what would the 2080 like 11 or 12? I really think 12. Things are getting really hungry whenever it comes to memory. Anyway, let's see, the 2615, okay. So yeah, they moved up to 8 gigabytes of GDDR6, and then the 2070 Super is a TU104, which, as I said with the 2060, this is technically a 2080. So they're taking better GPUs and putting them in the lower tier card that used to have, like this one used to have a TU106. Anyway, it has 2560 CUDA cores. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, 30 watts. It does have 30 watts more. So I mean, obviously there's more cores. It's going to cost more power. This is the same exact architecture, so it's not like there's really anything else that makes it better. It just has more cores. Unfortunately, the 2080 they weren't able to get any kind of confirmation. The only real thing that they got is that it mentioned 15 gigabits per second memory. And here's the thing, we pretty much know that, they discuss it down here, we pretty much know it's going to have 3072 cores, just because the earlier leaks that did say it's going to have 3072 cores got everything else right. So the likelihood is pretty high. And let's see. Next up, we have pricing. If we go over here, so they got the full pricing leaked. This is actually where things are a little bit different for the better. So starting things off, the 2060 Super is $399. Now, that is still more expensive than the original 2060. You can actually see it right here, regular $349. But the really cool thing here is the fact that while it is more expensive, it's still cheaper than earlier rumors. And remember that this one has 2 gigabytes more RAM. Next up is the 2070. That one's $499. That's $100 cheaper. Kind of. It's $100 cheaper from the standpoint of NVIDIA's Founders Edition cards, which this should be a Founders Edition card, so $100 cheaper. And then we look at the 2080 Super, it's $699, and that's $100 cheaper. So both of these cards are cheaper, which is a really great thing. Now, there is one caveat, and this is to all those people who are really hopeful, hey, maybe this will bring down the older cards. Unfortunately, so far, it says that the non-super variants are no longer on the list. I'm assuming they mean the list within the review deck that was sent out. I'm really not sure, but they're hearing that it's the end of life cycle. So basically these are set to replace the older GPUs, meaning you probably won't see very many prices go down, because what's going to happen is they're going to stop shipping them. They're just going to run out. So that's an unfortunate one, and I do know that this is pretty quick after the last launch, but of course this is their way of competing with Navi. Next up, we actually have the availability dates. Now, before we had said July 2nd, which they are still confirming this is the date, but that is for the announcement. The actual availability of these, just like they said before, well, what we've heard before, the 2070 and 2060 are launching the same day. Now, they're all going to be announced the same day, but these two are actually going to be launching on July 9th, so just a couple days after Navi, and obviously they're going to be announcing it prior to that specifically so they can try and take some hype away from the release date. But then you have the 2080 Super, and that's expected July 23rd. So, a little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news. Now, there is a little bit better news. Apparently, there's going to be a bundle that all of these cards are going to get, including the 2080 whenever it releases. And you get a free game, which is Wolfenstein Youngblood. Oh, excuse me, free game bundle, Wolfenstein Youngblood and Control. So, obviously, that's always a plus. You know, it should be factored. Well, it should only be factored into it if you were going to buy it. Listen, if you were going to buy it, then you did technically save $60. So that should go, or maybe if you were going to buy it later on, I mean, you can kind of factor in just to give you an idea. Like, okay, I still ultimately am going to be saving a little bit of money when you're trying to compare it price wise to other GPUs and things like that. Next up, they went ahead and actually released some pictures, and I was really hoping that these early renders and everything that they were giving us were not true, but this is actually supposedly a real picture of it. And the reason why is, I mean, it's so long. Why not just do RTX 2070S? You can even call it Super, but just put an S on the card itself. I mean, it's... And look at it, even whenever I was working on my designs for my thumbnails, I was just like, this really doesn't look good. So I would either take the RTX off or just use an S, which, bear in mind that was prior to us knowing it's Super, which, oh, by the way, it is Super. As you can see over here, it is officially Super. And these are actually listed on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure that they still are, but last time I checked, they were. So, it is officially Super. There may be places where they put S. They're definitely going to be calling it Super. So, I know I've kind of been going back and forth, but I really only ever said it seems that this is definitely it in my last video where I discussed it, because video cards put S. But obviously, they didn't know at that time. Now we do. Okay, so I think that just about covers every... Oh, one more thing. Let me actually go back. Okay, as you can see, they are keeping the 2080 Ti, and with that, a lot of people have been asking me, hey, what about the 2080 Ti Super? That's really all I care about. We only heard that from WCCF Tech source. Now, their source got a lot of things right, but we haven't heard it from anyone else. Now, those cards were supposed to be launching a good bit in the future, so that could still be happening, but as of right now, it doesn't look like it is. Keep in mind that they have, as far as I've been able to tell, they haven't really mentioned it since. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, and that's fine, but from what I've seen, it doesn't look like they will, and if they do, they at least won't be doing it right now. So yeah, hopefully that does answer that question, but anyway, that should do it for today. Once again, I do apologize that I didn't do my normal format. Hopefully you did like this at least a little bit. If you did, give it a thumbs up or thumbs up. Okay. I know I rambled a little bit, but just wanted to get this out there just because there was a lot of stuff and I wanted to quickly go over it. And I actually may have a normal video tomorrow because there is some stuff coming out that I do want to discuss beyond this, but I just wanted to kind of go over all the stuff that all the immediate leaks that happened concerning NVIDIA's super GPUs that are apparently going to be announced very, very soon. And I'm hoping to be able to get one, a few, hopefully. but we shall see. Either way, I have some really awesome videos coming up. Thanks so much. Have a great day.